Hi, and welcome back to another AnyRPG Development Livestream. In these videos, I livestream the development of the AnyRPG Engine, a 100% free and open source role-playing game engine designed in Unity and written in C#. These videos are unscripted and give you a chance to take a behind-the-scenes look at the unfiltered, methodical side of software development. For more information on AnyRPG, be sure to check out AnyRPG.org, where you can find documentation on the engine, links to the full source code at the official GitHub repository, and downloadable versions of AnyRPG Alpha, a free game designed to showcase the features of the AnyRPG engine. If you would like to see more of this type of content in the future, be sure to subscribe to the Cohesion YouTube channel, like the videos, or just leave a message in the comments telling me what you'd like to see. In today's episode, we will be continuing our work on the creation of an exportable package for Unity. And since the last episode, I've gone through and fixed up basically everything that had like bad references in it. So now when we load into the game here and we go to play and new game, we get into our sample level here, and it actually loads now. There's no errors or anything. And if we open up our book icon right here, then we see that we've got all of the abilities that are set to be auto-learned at level 1. So one thing I'm noticing here is that Speed of the Wolf isn't appearing on the bars automatically, and in fact none of these things are appearing on the bars automatically. So it would be nice to fix that so that we can begin the creation of our sample scenes. So let's see if we can figure out exactly what's wrong there. So in our UI manager here, we subscribe to this onAbilityListChanged event, and that is the one that's basically supposed to go through and add the abilities to the action bars. So we'll just add a little bit of debugging information here. And we just want to know basically, let's see, action bar manager is null. And then other scripts in here include this notify on ability list changed. So let's just track that as well. And then the player ability manager here should also tell us something, hopefully, because we would expect this to get fired. Oops. Whenever we learn a new ability. Oh, no, that's not the one that I wanted. Where did that go again? On learn ability, there we go. So return value here is false, and return value is true. Okay. Let's just see what happens there. because if we go in to, let me just load it up here. Okay, let's just go into the regular load game manager here. It's our alpha load game manager. And just a second, that's pointing to the alpha game manager. Good. I'm just going to rename that in the scene so that we know that that's the correct one. Okay, now let's load the game via the alpha load game manager. Oh, you know what? That's not going to work because we need to add the default UMA player unit for it. So let's add that. So we'll click on that and see if we can get I guess we have to look for it directly here. So that is in the engine under the player prefab, and we have default UMA player unit. And we'll apply that as an override in the alpha game now. Okay, and let's just save that and try to load. Actually, let's just take a look at our options here. In the System Configuration Manager. And I just want to see the Level Manager too. Okay, so that all looks pretty good. We do need to change that though to the Alpha Load Game Manager so that it'll recognize itself and go create the main menu. Okay, good. So let's try that. Yeah, that's better. And if we go and create a new game, let's just see what happens here. Oh, and we've got an issue here. Let's just see what that is. And this should only be on the player, right? AnyRPG character controller. Okay, so I think our default non-UMA player unit, which is our soul unit, which is configured right here. Yeah, we have a missing script. That's the issue. Okay. When I went through and made some changes recently, this is supposed to be the AnyRPG character controller, I believe. Let's just double check that. Yeah, AnyRPG character controller. That's better. I think I can save it now that I fixed that script error. And what we do need to do is add a null check to that, because that can apparently be null. So if AnyRPG character controller does not equal null, then enable it. And you know, we might as well just be safe, because these look like they could potentially be null as well. So character unit.myCharacter does not equal null, but we haven't checked if character unit.myCharacter animator does not equal null. Okay, that looks a little better. So then let's try loading the game again. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so right now you can see that my character has all of these abilities, and yeah, they work. He goes faster. So let's exit the game now. And if we load actually, let's just take a look at our console messages here. So the very first thing we get is player ability manager.learnAbility. The player ability manager starts, runs update ability list. Okay. So now let's figure out why maybe that isn't happening on the regular load game manager. So, or on the example one, I mean. So we'll load up the example load game manager. And you know what I don't want to do is I actually don't want to clear this on play right now. I actually want to see what happens and just sort of compare the log entries here. So then let's go play, new game. Okay. And he doesn't have any spells, so let's see what the difference was. So we ended this last one around there, so let's just go take a look above that. Player ability manager starts with learn ability. Then we have notify on ability list changed. It's interesting that like these abilities should be getting added to the bars. Okay, now so let's see what happens down here. So learnability, notify on ability list changed. But we never, see in here, we got to the UI managers on ability list changed, which is actually a really bad name for it. This needs to be renamed to handle ability list changed. I also want to see if this handle character spawn is being called, because it looks like what happened here is this notification went off and never made it to the UI manager. I want to go back actually into the load game manager, because what's interesting about this is the UI manager subscribes to that method when the player unit spawns. And our player unit actually shouldn't even really be spawned yet. So let's see how that's firing basically. Hey, sorry, Yelinlay, are you talking about the audio on the stream? My Streamlabs is showing audio making it through. And okay, let's try loading the game again then. And we'll try that through the regular load game manager and just see how that subscription is happening. And then let's take a look once we get in there. Go to play, new game. And okay, let's pause it. Oh, that's interesting. We got like the old message there. It was saying on ability list changed again. Oh, I forgot to clear it on build, that's why. Okay, let's try this again. And this isn't handle character spawn, this is handle player unit spawn. Let's just look at the stack trace on that, and I'm going to reset it to clear on build now that we sort of know what the issue is. Or clear on play, I mean. So we confirm, cancel the cutscene, we end the cutscene, we return from the cutscene, we spawn the player unit, we handle the player unit spawn, then we notify on player unit spawn. And then this method right here fires, which subscribes to our learn events. And this stuff all comes out of there. So I wonder, maybe, like, is there something... See, if we look at our default non-UMA player unit here, we've got, I think, a player ability manager on it. We should have a player ability manager on it. This is interesting. Our player ability manager is not telling us what unit this is on. So I actually want to see that. And I want to take a look at the difference between the default non-UMA player unit and our other player unit here. So we'll go into our engine prefabs and look at our default UMA player unit. Oh, right, of course, because the player ability manager is actually on the connection. Totally forgot about that. Okay, let's just clear this out just to clear up the log, and then we'll go back into the regular load game manager, the example one, and I just want to look at that startup log and see what happens there. Okay, so go into new game, and let's pause that and just take a look at the order of things. So our player ability manager runs its start method before our UI manager receives the handle player unit spawn method. So this actually makes a little bit of sense, because our UMA unit has to spawn so what's going to be a good way to deal with this? Our UMA unit takes a couple of frames, which is definitely why this player ability manager here is running its start method. So we run this update ability list. as part of our base start method. So there's a couple of ways we can deal with this issue. One is we can take the player ability manager and we can override, like in the start method, just don't run base.start. Another way we can do it is let's see, we can have this right here subscribed in the handle character spawn method, or handle like player connection spawn method, which would ensure that we are subscribed earlier. And I think that's actually the route that I want to go. So yeah, let's do that then. So there's a player unit spawn and a player connection spawn method available, and the player connection spawn method method fires basically as soon as the player logs into their actual player, even if they don't have like an actual physical unit spawned in the game yet. So that definitely seems like a better place to be subscribing to that, and we'll see how it works. Hopefully it works okay. Right, and then obviously we want to clean those up too, so let's just clean that up. And then we'll just copy these two methods and rename them to connection spawn and despawn. And basically the only thing that we'll do in here is subscribe to that stuff so that we can get these things to show up on our bars. Okay, good. And then we just need to move these, or well, I'll just comment them out for now. Okay, and this looks okay, I think. All right, let's test that out. And we will see if that works. So back in the example load game manager, we'll log in. Let play, we'll go to new game. That's better. We got all our abilities now. Awesome. Okay. Okay, very cool. So this means we can pretty much actually, now we can get started with the actual creation of all the content and stuff that's in this level that's going to serve as the example prefabs. So let's see, what's the best way to do this? We just start making stuff pretty much. So let's just make everything. First thing, if we go, let's see, let's start with the vendor. So we've got what did I call him? The traveling salesman. No, maybe I just straight up called him GM vendor. Yeah, there we go, GM vendor. Okay. Our GM vendor, he has a name traveling salesman, no wonder. Okay, perfect. So this guy right here, where is he? He is in the alpha content, and we're just going to duplicate him. We'll go to GM vendor. No, we will rename him, let's see, example vendor. And then we'll move him into the example prefabs character AI directory. No, that's the engine folder. Example prefabs character AI. Perfect. So we have example vendor, and I think this guy's an UMA unit. Let's just confirm that. Yeah, he's got the dynamic character avatar. So I'm gonna call him the example UMA vendor, and let's change his name to, whoops, example UMA vendor, and will be part of the example vendors faction. The unit frame target is just going to be head. I fixed this so that we don't need the entire bone structure reference anymore. And this is good. What to do here? So this this bag image here, we can actually remove this because this is actually defaulted, I think, by the system manager now. So this particular one will not have a quest prerequisite, unlike the one in the game. Wow, and now we've got a ton of items that he sells. So initiate staff, whoops. Example initiate staff, and then Dragon Blade. We just have to switch these all out with the example ones. He won't be selling Squire's plate anything because we don't have plate stuff available to us. And cloth boots, cloth hood, cloth robe, gloves of hammer, rune hammer, large health potion, small mana potion. $20 slot bag. Scroll of agility. Scroll of intellect. Scroll of stamina. Scroll of strength. Swamp reed. Wow, this guy sells a lot of stuff here. Example health potion. Small health potion. Tiny health potion. Tiny mana potion. Rune sword. Bone shield. And this gets to be example leather boots. Example leather chest. Example leather gloves. And he will sell the example leather pants. And the example leather shoulders. And then example condensed elemental air. Example condensed elemental death. Example condensed elemental earth. Example condensed elemental fire. Example condensed elemental ice. Example condensed elemental life. Example condensed elemental lightning. Example condensed elemental water. Give him example 1 gold. Example 100 silver. Example condensed greater elemental death. Greater, whoops. And he doesn't need the night maul. And this one's not a quest giver, so we can just remove the quest giver component. And let's see, that I think should be okay. We need the example human unarmed attacks. Whoops. Yeah, we don't have that yet. Okay. So, actually, let's do that. So for that, we need to go into the engine, and his attacks are in resources animation profile. So we need to go in the example scene, resources animation profile, unarmed. So let's just duplicate that entire unarmed folder there. then move that into the animation profile and change that to unarmed, and then call this the example human unarmed attacks. And this is where basically what we want to do is swap these out with all the example attacks. So we have, let's see, example left downward knee kick, example left reverse punch, example low side kick. What I'm going to do too is like these will just be like the one-hit attacks, and then I'll make the combos into special moves because we have a bunch of combos in there too. So combo punch 1, 2, 3 and jab combo don't need to be in there, but we can do a right hook and the right reverse punch. And then we have, I think, like 3 straight kicks here. Yeah, and then the rest of those are combos. Okay, cool. So we'll just do, I don't know, all 3 of the straight kicks, I guess. You know what? No, we just do one of those straight kicks. It's fine. 5 is still a great number of like auto attacks that it's, or 6 actually, that it's going to look fine. Let's see. So basically, for now, I think what I'm going to do is just like we've got these combat clips here. You know what I can do? I can do combat idle. We have a decent combat idle one. So let's look for our example combat idle, and I think number 2 was actually the really cool one I liked. It was just like that short little 1-second clip. For the rest of them, we're just going to copy in the regular out of combat ones, because those are all made from public domain sources here. So we just go to the move forward clip, pull that over into combat move forward fast. We'll pull that into combat move forward fast, move back. We'll just pull that into combat move back. Same for turn left. And turn right. And strafe left. And jog strafe left. And strafe right. And jog strafe right. And strafe forward left. And jog strafe forward left. And then strafe forward right. And then jog strafe forward right. And then strafe back left. And strafe back right. And then let's see the stun clips and death clips. I'm going to deal with those a little later because I haven't really found versions of those yet, and I'm going to have to get some jump clips as well. I've got some jump clips in raw sources somewhere, so we'll go look for those in a little bit here. So this is the example human unarmed attacks, and then we can go back to our example UMA vendor here, and we can change that now for our example human unarmed attacks. And I think that'll be okay. I think that's all we really need for this guy. So then what we want to do is we actually want to put him in the scene. So we'll go into our example default scene here. Open it up in scene view, and let's see, the front of the level is this way. So we'll just put him like right here, right in front of our character for now. So we want our vendor, and we'll just pull him in right there. And I think that's good. So let's save that, and let's just see if we can get him to load real quick. Actually, you know what? We have a whole pile of prefabs here, and why don't we like just pull all them in as well? So we have an AI quest giver, and we should change yeah, we'll change that out for the example ones. Example human unarmed attacks. Oh, right, this delay here. I totally forgot. It's a bad idea to double click anything in a scene with UMA units in it if there's no load game manager in that scene. You end up with this massive delay as Unity goes through and temporarily instantiates an UMA context in the scene so that it can do what you just did, and you see this manifesting right there as UMA editor context added and removed. So if you ever get really weird delays when you're working with UMA and you don't have a load game manager in the scene, that could be why. So let's just keep looking at this here. Anything else we really need to do? This guy doesn't have any quests. You know, what'd be kind of interesting is just give him like every single example quest in the game. That would be kind of neat. I think I want to do that, so let's what do we need here? We need a load game manager. And they're not showing up, so we're just going to pull this into the scene here because this has UMA inside of it, and that way we can just continue to work with this scene here without getting those huge delays. So let's give this quest giver now like every quest in the game. So we can go down to our example resources quest, open that up, highlight all of those. Whoops. Let's try that again. AI quest giver. Don't forget to lock that inspector up here. And now we can go select all the quests, and let's see, is it going to allow us to pull them in? Oh, no, it's not, because these are, we have to pull them in one at a time. Okay, how many quests do we have here? If we unlock that, yes, no, it won't tell us how many of these we have selected, eh? No. Okay, what if I put this in here? 56 objects. Okay, so 55 mono behaviors. So that means our AI quest giver. Let's you know what? Let's call him the example AI quest giver. And I actually want to make him into like his own independent prefab here. So we'll put him in character AI and original prefab. Yeah, there we go. So then we'll go into him, literally give him 55 quests. Sure, why not? And then go back into our quest directory. Oh, you know what? I'm going to make this really easy. If we go in here and we check both of these boxes first, and we apply them, and then we hit 55, then they all come back checked. And that just saved us literally 110 clicks. So that's kind of handy. And now we can just pull in all these quests, all 55 of them, one at a time. Where were we? Back to the Future, Champion of the Grove, Defend the Knights, Elemental Air, Elemental Death, Earth, Fire, Ice. I don't know if there's a way to like, I don't think I can right click on that and go expand all, can I? Let's see. Nope. Nothing like that. Nope. Okay. Guess not. I wonder if I click on that. You know what? Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Tab and over. What I'm doing here is I'm hitting the tab key 4 times and then using the right arrow key on my keyboard, and it's expanding them. You know what? It's probably just as quick to just use the mouse there, but whatever. So we have example elemental ice was our last one. Okay, example elemental life, example elemental lightning, water, fine robes, gather all the things, gem enshrined staff, greater elemental death, I got the good stuff, in case of emergency, investigate the mines, join the Sunsworn, kill 5 undead, Kill the ringleader, learn herbalism, learn logging, learn mining, missed logging. Example, woodworking, lesser elemental death, living on a prayer. Lost in time. Meet the apprentice, Night of the Living Bunnies, refine tastes, report back to camp, report for duty, scrolls of power, secrets of alchemy, swamp things, the crystal mine, what the whole, you are not prepared, you are prepared, scratch my back, and finally zombie attack. Okay, cool. And now we just want to right click all that and go apply to example AI quest giver. Good. So his name is example quest giver, and we actually want him to have the same target, head and 0.66 on the Z, because that's basically, which one was that bottom one? That's far enough in front of the face that you won't get the camera like cutting his nose off or something like that. Example Uma quest giver, I guess. That's probably good. Okay, I think that'll do for the quest giver. So now we have a vendor in there and we have a quest giver in there. Let's see what else we have here. We should put a skill trainer in there. So let's do that. And then we'll rename him to example Uma skill trainer. Whoops, and we'll pull him in here as his own original prefab. And I'll just keep that open because that keeps those preview units up there. Okay, our game has how many skills here? We have one, select them, 13. 13 skills, so we'll go into our skill trainer here. And we'll call him example Uma skill trainer. And give him the head as his unit frame target and 0.66 as the Z distance away from the center of that bone. Also giving him example human unarmed attacks. And this is going to be example skill trainer. And then we have 13 skills here. Oh, nice. Here, we can just pull them directly in. So lock the inspector, go over into our example folder, look for our example skills, grab all of them, and pull it over. Awesome, and apply that. Perfect, so now we have quest giver, vendor, and skill trainer, which is basically like all the types of friendly units that you can have. Yeah, okay. So now what we want to do is, now that we know that our abilities work as well, we're just going to go into our abilities here. We're going to select them all, and why don't we set them to be available automatically at level 2? Because basically what we can do is we can just complete like 2 quests really quick, and then we'll be level 2, and then we'll learn like all these abilities. So actually, just a second here. We don't want those ones. We want basically everything except for the eat abilities, because the eat abilities are actually auto-cast by the food. The rest of these look okay. Alright, so what we want to do is we want to set these to auto-learn. And then your character will automatically get them. And let's see. Revive and revive AoE. Those ones can be auto-learned as well. The rest of these are like system abilities. You know what I'm going to do? I think just to keep things a little more organized, the death level up, loot, sparkle, wham hit, white hit, take damage blood. Actually, I think just white hit. Yeah, there we go. These 5 are basically system abilities, which we have in our system configuration manager right here. Level up, death, loot, sparkle, white hit, take damage, blood, that are automatically cast by the system to allow us to put spell effects on certain actions automatically. So Light of Revival, that's part of Sunsworn faction. Necromancy is gotten from an item. These 2 are auto-learn, and Wham Hit is from a specific ability as well. So let's go down to attacks. The rest of these, I think I already made these auto-learn. Yeah, I did all the attack ones. So we'll take the 3 healing ones. I made those auto-learn as well, so that's good. Warming Ray is part of Sunsworn, so that's all the direct ones. Professions, we learn those from the professions, so we're not going to auto-learn those. And the status buffs, let's just look at all those here. Which ones we don't need? So bone spikes we don't need. The buffs come from the scrolls, so we don't need those. The rest of these, let's see, Blessing of the Makers, that one actually comes from a quest, so we'll leave that out as well. I'm going to keep these auto-learned, although you can learn them from the crystals as well. So setting all those to auto-learned. Let's just see here, just confirm all that. Yeah, this stuff all looks okay. Wait, Undead Slayer is not auto-learn. And in fact, that's not even, you can't even add it to your bars. Undead Slayer is an effect that you get from the Bone Staff, so it doesn't make sense to have that. The rest of these look okay. The teleport abilities we are not going to learn automatically. We're going to have those as something that you click on items to use. So that looks okay. We should basically get all of our abilities now. So let's just save this. And we'll just remove the example game manager from that scene because we're done basically messing with our UMA units. And then we can go back to our example load game manager and load up the game. Just make sure we got all our scripts here saved. Yeah, that looks good. So let's load that up. Oh, and actually, one other thing that I should do, we just made a change and we confirmed it in the code. So let's just go and save that in Git for a second. All right, and let's see here. Documents, Unity projects, AnyRPG. Oops. Yeah, that looks okay. So basically we're just going to add everything and we're just going to commit that with a message. Fixed bug where spells weren't going on bars with UMA unit on spawn. Yeah, that looks good. Why not? Okay, so now we're going to go to play and we'll go to new game. All right, that's good. That's kind of what we want, and we have like a ton of spells available right away. So let's see, Speed of the Wolf, good, that works. This guy is our skill trainer. And so let's go through and learn all these skills. that yellow ball, right on. My the achievements are working too. So we go to our character tab here and we look at our achievements. We got workaholic, and that was what that little yellow ball appearing on us was. And if we go to skills, we have all of our skills. So that's cool. Let's these guys are totally naked. I should put some clothes on them or something. Here's the UMA vendor. Yeah, cool. He has all of our example stuff here. I don't have a bag or anything yet. I'm gonna have to deal with the whole I need a backpack issue. Okay, cool. And let's go look at our quest giver. Right on, he's got some quests for us. So, example, a small glowing crystal. Sure. This automatically popped up, I think, because it's just like the first thing on the list. Cool. So that works. Complete that. Oh. You must choose a reward. I think it's not letting me do that. It's interesting. I can't select any of those. I'll have to take a look into that. I got the good stuff. Cool. That looks like it's working. We want to open up. I got the good stuff complete. Right on. That was like a spell effect for what was supposed to be the level up effect. So I'm happy with that. My mini map is working here. Let's see, a lost soul. All the dialogues look like they're going pretty good. Okay. All right, and this looks like it's working. I'm not going to be able to complete these dialogues, but that's cool. It's working anyway. I think I'm going to remove the elemental spells from this quest giver because you're supposed to be getting those from the items anyway. So that's all right. And let's, you know what? Let's start doing the portals now. This is pretty good. I'm pretty happy with this. We have all of our major stuff available here for us. I think I'm level 2. Yeah, cool. I've got some heal spells somewhere maybe. Let's see. Nature's Embrace. Alright, good. That's working. I got my little green sphere prefab showing up there, and my spell is casting. I have health gaining. That looks good. Nature's Embrace AoE. It's finding them based on character unit, so I think what I have to do is I need to change my Uma quest giver and Uma skill trainer to the character unit, and then they'll be able to benefit from that. Ocean's Embrace looks good. I'm slowly gaining mana. The rest of this stuff, basically all the attack spells, I'll have to use in the combat. You know what? Lightning Shield. Let's see. Okay, cool. The blue lightning shield prefab works. I can click that off. Let's see, lightning destruction aura. That looks okay. Fire shield. Alright, ring of fire. That's good. Dark tentacles. I think I get like a purple. No, red as well. Alright, blood shield. I should get like a red prefab. Oh, I actually still get the blood shield. Okay, I'll need to change that. Healing missile. Let's see if I can shoot the healing missile if that works. Oops. Healing missile. No. Okay. I might have to work with that a little bit. Yeah. My healing missile prefab appears to be stuck on me. So not everything's working, but that's okay. Healing circle. Alright, cool. And that's working. As soon as I step into it, I get a heal attached to me. The rest of these are all AoEs and stuff. Okay, Rune Sword on hit. I don't want to auto learn that. Let's go for Meteor Strike. Right on. Yeah, it worked. There's the initial meteor and there's the fireball. All right, cool. I'm pretty happy with the direction that this is heading in. So I just have to remember I'm removing all my elemental spells from my quest giver, and Rune Sword on hit shouldn't be auto learn. So let's take care of that. So we're gonna do the example Rune Sword on hit, and that is no longer auto learn or auto add to bars. And actually, let's just save that because we made some changes to some scriptable objects. And now we need to go back to our example AI quest giver, and yeah, he needs to be on the character unit level. His nameplate should be on the character unit level. His interactable range is ignore raycast, and his aggro range is ignore raycast. The main thing is this bottom one has to be on the character unit level. So let's look at our other AI prefab, because one of our other guys there, I believe it was our skill trainer, wasn't on the character unit level, and we weren't able to heal him with our AoE spells as well. So these guys are both on ignore raycast, so that's good. And then we want to go into our quest giver here and remove all the elemental spells. So that is example elemental earth, example elemental death, example elemental fire, example elemental air, example elemental ice, example elemental life, example elemental lightning, example elemental water, example greater elemental death. Okay, that looks good. Perfect. So maybe we'll have a better quest list when we go back in there. Let's make some portals now. So to do that, we'll go back into our example default scene. And we can just borrow some of our other portal prefabs here. So let's make a copy of this portal crystal all units, and we're going to rename this to example portal combat scene. And let's see, this is part of the portal crystal prefab. So what I actually want to do is I want to unpack that prefab so that it's its own, and then move it down into the example prefab interactable portal. Oh, do we already have some in there? I might have already. Yeah, okay, that's all right. So this is going to be basically example teleport to combat scene, and the ability will be teleport example combat scene. Oh, you know what? We can teleport to example combat scene. And honestly, for now, the prefab can just be blue sphere. Actually, you know what? Let's do a little better than that. Let's go into our folder here, and we have shapes. So let's create a new folder, and we're going to call it sphere. Move those all into there, and then create another folder called cube. And right here in the scene, we can just add a 3D object and a cube. and I want to make this cube 2 meters tall. And then we're going to rename this to, what do we want? We want, I'm going to call this Trigger Portal Cube 2M. Sure, why not? And this Trigger Portal Cube 2M needs a box collider that's a trigger, and then I'm going to pull one of our other portals into the scene so that I can just copy. Oh, you know what? Right, this is the prefab. So this actually, yeah, cube 2 meters, and then let's call it example cube 2 meters. We'll pull it into the cube folder. AnyRPG black sphere. Okay, so we'll call this actually AnyRPG cube 2 meters, just to stay consistent. And this will be the black cube 2 meters. So we've got the AnyRPG black material here. And then we need to make duplicates of that, so I believe we had 9 colors here, so make a couple more of those. Alright, and change the colors on these. Black, blue, green, gray, and then we need a white cube. And we don't have a yellow one yet. And then we need a violet one. And we need a brown cube as well. Okay, I think I'm forgetting one color here. Black, blue, brown, gray, green, red. We don't have a red cube. Okay, that's better. So now we got a bunch of cubes, and we can use these cubes for whatever we want. So let's go into our portal. Right, so this is just a cube. We're going to just remove that from the scene. We don't need it in there anymore. And this is our example portal combat scene. Yeah, that looks okay. So this is teleport example combat scene, and we'll do the red cube 2 meters. And I think that's okay, so we can put that in here. And actually, we need to change that Y center to 1 and change it to 2, 1, 1. Now the collider is the same size as the box that's going to spawn there. And now we want to make a duplicate of that and call this the example portal default scene, because we need a way to get back to this scene. And we'll set the spawn prefab as a white cube. And then this needs to be example default scene, example default scene, example default scene, and that should be okay. And then what we need to do is go into the example combat scene and drop that default scene return in there. So let's go into the example combat scene. And there's nothing in here right now, so we'll just put that portal in here. Example portal default scene, just like right there, looks good. And now we should be able to basically teleport back and forth between these two scenes. So let's test that out. First, I just need to make sure this has no prerequisites. Yeah, we need to remove the prerequisites on both of these. Okay, and now they will basically spawn immediately, or at least that's the idea. Okay, so now we need to go back to the example load game manager. And actually, you know what I want to do for my skill trainer here? I actually want to give him some default UMA clothing. Oop. Right, that was a bad idea. We're now going to try to create one of those UMA contexts again, and it's going to take a little while. Even if you're editing UMA stuff in your main folder here, if the scene you're in doesn't have UMA DCS in it, you're going to get this little delay here. So yeah, this UMA editor context had to be created there. So let's let's just get out of this scene. We'll go back to the game manager for now. And if I want to do any UMA editing, I'll do it like back in here. For now, let's just test if this works. Okay, we go play, new game. Okay, so I guess what I have to do is I need to fix that definitely. Let's make ourselves go a little faster here and see if this quest giver, small glowing crystal, we need to remove that from the quest giver, as well as the lesser elemental death. So why don't we do that right now? We can actually change these while the game is running and it won't affect anything. So the quest giver needs to have a small glowing crystal removed. And he also had one of those death things as well, I think. Yeah, example, lesser elemental death. Okay, that's better. And now I just need to go back to my portals here because it looks like the portals, I need to reset them to 0, 0, 0. So if I go into my cubes here, and all the cubes need to be reset to 0, 0, 0. And now they won't be like way off from where they're supposed to be. So let's just exit the game and test and make sure those changes worked. Okay, that's that's a little better. Maybe I need to spawn, yeah, let's just fix that. So if I go into my portal, basically what's happening is it's spawning them at the root of the portal, and that's why they're not as tall as they should be. So we can fix that quite easily just by going into our portal prefabs here. Oh, you know what? Maybe we can't. Yeah, what do you know? I don't have a like spawn offset for that. Okay, whatever. Well, it doesn't really matter. That's good enough for now. So I just want to go test and see if they work. Basically, all I really care about is does it teleport me right now. These teleporters still say all units, so let's just take a look at this. I don't know why those are saying all units. Let's go back and take a look at that level for a second here. So that is the example default scene. Okay, I'm just going to delete both of those and just pull the portals back in from here. Example portal combat scene, example portal default scene. And let's see, where is that all, display name, all units. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so this is teleport example default scene. And we need to do the same here, and this is teleport example combat scene. Okay, and now let's save the scene. And then go back to the example load game manager. And hit play. And let's see what happens. Play, new game. Yes. Okay, that's a little better. So we have teleport example default scene, which just basically brings you back to here where you already are, and teleport example combat scene. So let's click on that, and could not create load operation. Alright, so let's see, we have a scene node, scene anyway, example combat scene. Let's see, we have a scene node that says example combat scene. So, oh, what's this error say? Hasn't been added to the build settings, no worries. Okay, that's easy to fix. We just go to the example combat scene, and then file, build settings, add open scenes. You know what, it's already in here, but we just forgot to enable it. So that's better. It's enabled now, and we don't have to like do anything really. We can save, but I don't think it makes a difference. And then we can go back to our example load game manager and press play and see if we can get this teleport back and forth thing working. Play new game. Yeah. Alright. We got a bunch of spells. We got our vendors and stuff. Let's go over and take a look at this guy. Nice. Okay, so now we have a Lost Soul, I got the good stuff, Swamp Things, and What the Hole. And these are all the quests in the game that don't have prerequisites on them. We've got my port to the combat scene. There we go. Right, I had to be a lot closer. And I totally forgot to bake the lighting on the combat scene. Let's run over to the default scene here, right click on it, teleport example default scene. That one actually has a cast timer, and we are back. Awesome. So we now have two scenes, and you can teleport back and forth between them using these spells. I think that's probably pretty much good for this episode. What I wanted to do was make the example scenes, and now we have basically working example scenes. I think in the next episodes we will continue to fill them out. You know, we have basically all our spells available to us. And if I, let's see here, I think I can just close this and go into Lost Soul. And wow, I can't turn any of these in, and I'm still level 1. I thought I was going to make it to level 2 here. Oh, because I don't have a change my name prefab. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, in the next episode, we'll go through and we'll add all the prefabs and stuff we need for this. Like I'll add Swamp Reed prefabs and change my name prefabs, and I'll add guys that you can like go question and stuff. and then we'll just fill out these two scenes we have, and then in the combat scene here, we'll go in and we'll add some AI units that are of different factions and add a bunch of spawners and stuff. And then at that point, actually, we'll be pretty close to ready to release. I might go in and just fix up a few animations and try to find some more public domain ones in the meantime. So I'm quite happy. We're getting a lot closer to being able to release that UMA package. We've got a really minimal thing right now. I just want to make it slightly better before we go ahead and do it. So if you like this type of content and you want to see more in the future, then leave a thumbs up on the video, or subscribe to the Cohesion channel, or just leave a comment telling me that you like this stuff or what else you'd prefer to see. Thanks for joining, and I hope to see you guys soon.